Hello guys, hope each one of you is doing well. So today we will be discussing this problem which is maximum sum subarray. So this problem is very important since you will rarely find this problem coming directly in your coding tests and wherever you will see, but the concept behind this problem is really important and is generally asked in a lot of coding questions. So it is a part of some bigger question. So it becomes necessary to understand the concept behind this problem. So the flow of the video will be, firstly we will be discussing the brute force approach, and then we will try to optimize it with the help of dynamic programming, and then we will discuss Cadine's algorithm, basically which is just an optimization over the dynamic programming approach further. So let's read the question. We are given an integer array nums basically, and we have to find the contiguous subarray containing at least one number which has the largest sum. So we are required to return this largest sum. So the question is pretty straightforward. If you have difficulty in understanding it, you can pause the video and read it once again. So I'll be discussing the question. So firstly, let's understand what is the difference between subarray and subsequence. So the sub array is like 2, 3, 4, 5, but the subsequence is like any 2, 3, 6, 7. So there is difference between subarray and subsequence. So keep this thing in mind. Every subarray is a subsequence, but not every subsequence is a subarray. So subarray comes always together, all the elements coming together back to back. So yes, we have understood this meaning. Now let's proceed what the question is trying to say. Now here we are required that we have to find that subarray, basically that sum which is maximum. So the subarray which is possible with the maximum sum in this case is all the elements taken at a time. So it will be the total sum of these elements, whatever it is. But the problem is when it is very easy since there are no negative elements. The problem arises when there are negative elements as well. So like in this array, what will be the answer? The answer will be 6. Let's verify, like it is this sub array 6, 7 and minus 1. Yes, 6. You can try any other sub array, like you can try this, you can try this, all the possibilities. You can try all the possibilities. I won't be doing here. So their answer will be obviously less than or equal to 6. So how can we do that? So the first thing that may come up to your mind is that we can generate all the subarrays, basically of all the sizes. So the size of the subarray will be ranging from, S is the size, it will be ranging from 1 to n, which is the total number of elements in this array, which are 9 basically. So we can generate all the subarrays of each size. Like if the size is 1, I will generate all the subarrays and find their sum, and so on. Similarly, if the size is 2, what will I be doing is, like I will find their sum and so on. Similarly for 3 also, 4 also, and up till n. This will go up till n, and we will every time be storing our max in a variable m. So and we will at the end return this m, so this will be the answer. But so how can we achieve this? Like there is sliding window concept we can use. I will explain here what is it. For example, the window is the window is like this. If the size of the window is 2, so this is the window, so the total sum of this window will be 3. Now you have to move to next window. What you will be doing is you will be adding this number to the sum of this window and subtracting this. Similarly, you will be moving forward like I'll be doing here. Like for purple one the answer is 3. Now when we come when the window is moved forward, so for this the sum is 5. How it is 5? Like 3 plus this 3, which is 6, minus this one. So that's how it is, how we are getting 5. And similarly so on for all the all the windows that are coming up. So this can be done in only one iteration. This can be done only in one iteration from left to right. So and this is obviously done for the size of the subarray, where the size of the subarray is like particular size. Like if it is 1, then also it will, we have to iterate all the elements up till n. Similarly for all of them we have to iterate every time up till n. So the complexity of this solution is n square. So now let's try to code this thing. So I will be creating my answer variable where I will be storing the answer, and I will be initializing it to minus infinity, and now n is equal to, I'll be renaming this as a. Now what I will be doing again is I'll make a variable sum I is less than equal to n. What I am doing is this for loop is for specifying, okay, so I will tell me what is the size of the subarray that we are considering right now. So if I is 2, then we are taking all the subarrays of size 2. So for int j is equal to 0 and j up till n. So this is the for loop where we are iterating all the elements. So here comes a condition, if j is less than I basically. So what we will be doing is sum, and we will be adding the element. Like what we are doing is, like if the size of the window is 2, so firstly we have started from here, we will first add 1, then add 2, the total sum will become 3, and then we will put another condition. Okay, if j is greater than I, basically the size of this array when it will come to here, and then what will happen, this window will be extended up till here since this will be added, and we will cut it till here, and this will be subtracted. Similarly next time it will be extended up till here and then here, then this will be subtracted from the sum. So this is what we will be doing. So else case, we have to store our answer also. Answer is equal to maximum of answer variable and what else, sum. Now we will update our sum to sum is equal to sum plus a of j, basically the next element, and minus we have to subtract a of j minus I, basically the just previous element, if this is window, just previous element of this window. So that is the reason j minus I is the size of window, basically minus 2, and we will reach here. So that's the case. and again we will be making answer is equal to math.max answer and some. Why we are doing it, this is because since if consider that the size of the window is n, so it will always remain in this loop only, and then the answer won't be updated, so we have put it here also. That is the reason. And we have to initialize our sum is equal to 0, which is for the next iteration, where if size was 1, like then when the size will become 2, then sum should be starting from 0 only. So now I think we should return our answer. Let's see, is it fine? So we are getting an exception. Okay, so it should be J. Yes, we are getting right answer. It should give time limit exceeded. No, but it is not giving time limit exceeded, surprisingly. But we will obviously optimize our approach. So it is an n square approach. So let's understand what better can be done. So firstly, I will be explaining the approach, then I will tell the intuition behind it. So let's understand. So what we will be doing is, so for every index, like if I am at this index, what will I be doing? I will check the answer to the previous index. Like for if I am at this index, I will check answer for this previous index plus this element. If this total sum, like if it up till here is x and this element is 4, then if x plus 4 is greater than equal to 0, I will update this value by x plus 4. Else, now keep in mind that it is x can either be negative and either be positive, so we have to keep this thing in mind. No, obviously x will be positive, you will come to know later. And in case this condition is not met, we will keep that index as 0 only. So let's understand, let's iterate over the loop and then you will be understanding better. So since it is a base case, so the first index, since it is -2, we will, if it was positive then we had put positive value here, but it is negative, so I will be putting 0. Now for the next index, I will be checking if 1 plus this 0 is greater than equal to 0. Yes, it is greater than equal to 0. I will be putting 1 plus 0 here, which is 1. Now I will be checking if this -3 plus 1 is greater than equal to 0. I will be putting here the total sum, but no, it is not greater than equal to 0, so I will keep it 0 only. Similarly for this case, if 4 plus 0 is greater than equal to 0, yes it is, so I will put 4 here. Similarly for 1, 4 minus 1, is it greater than equal to 0? Yes it is, so 3. Similarly 2, 2 plus 5 greater than equal to 0, yes 5. For 1, yes, 1 plus 5, 6. Now 6 minus 5, is it greater than equal to 0? Yes, so we will put 1 here. And now for 4, it will be 4 plus 1, 5. So that is how we are filling up this table. And the intuition behind this algorithm is that, let me show you why we are putting 0 when the total sum is basically becoming lesser than 0. So why we are just putting 0 only here? So let's understand this. That the reason behind it is, like if we start iterating from here, 1, 2, so the answer at this index will be 3 particularly. And since it is negative at next index, so we will have a question that if I subtract this negative from this 3, which will become 2. Now, can there be a greater element after this basically minus 1? Can there be a greater element after this minus 1 which can contribute to our answer? So yes, it can contribute to answer because the total sum is positive. But in this case, if we see, like, here, up till here the answer will be 2, but this minus 3 plus 2, will it be greater than 0? No, obviously it is not greater than 0. It will become minus 1, but we are updating it still to 0. Why we are doing so? Because if we see that, can this basically this part of index can be included in our answer for whichever answer that is possible. Obviously it will never contribute to our answer. If we see also, like, if we try to make it that it should contribute, then for here the answer will be like 6, and if added here also, then 14. But we clearly see that if we don't include this minus 3, we are already getting answer as 15, which is the maximum. So that is the reason we are not including the answers when it is becoming lesser than 0. So we update it with 0 only. So now we have got all the answers here. We will just iterate another for loop and find the maximum of these values, which is basically 6. So 6 was our answer. So let's code this up. So we will be making length, and we will be making a DP array which is of the size, and now we'll be making for loop. Okay, so if for the base case, if I is equal to 0, what we will be doing is dp of I is equal to a of I, and here also one condition, that if a of I is greater than equal to 0. Why we are doing is, like, for this index only, it was, since it was lesser than 0, so we just updated it with 0. But if it was positive, like plus 2 it was, so we have put 2 here. So that is the reason we are doing this. An else case, if basically dp of I minus 1, the previous index, plus a of I is greater than equal to 0, then we can just update the next dp of I is equal to dp of I minus 1 plus a of I. Else case, dp of I is equal to 0 if it becomes lesser than this. Now we will be creating a variable which is answer, and we will initialize it with minus infinity, and here we will be updating our answer, maximum of already the answer variable and this particular index, which is dp of I. Now we will be returning our answer. So let's see if it is working. Yes, it is working fine. Yes, so we are getting a wrong answer. Why we are getting a wrong answer? The problem with this approach is that we need to check side by side also, that in case if the array has all negative integers, so what you will be choosing is, you will always try to choose the maximum only. You will obviously choose only one integer, not the size of the subarray that you will be choosing is 1 in any case, because if you will be choosing 2, it will obviously be lesser, become lesser and lesser. So you will just iterate over all the elements and find the maximum element of across them. So you will just create a variable answer2, which I will be initializing again with minus infinity. Since I know the size of the subarray will be 1 in the case when all the elements are negative, so I will be just updating my answer2 variable. Now here the uh, if statement, we will write if statement that if answer of 2 is greater than equal to 0, then we will return answer, else we will return answer 2. So let's see if it is working fine. So what is not a statement? Return answer. Okay. So it is working fine. Obviously the speed has reduced. So let's analyze the time complexity here. So the time complexity of this approach is just O of n, since we are just iterating once. And what is the space complexity? Space complexity is also O of n, which is for which we are storing our answers in DP array. So now we will be improvising our answer. Like, the Kadane's algorithm is basically the same that we did here, but it is in O of 1 space. So what can be done to reduce the space? So if we observe that we just every time we just require dp of I minus 1, just previous index. If we are at here, then just previous index we require. So why not we just make another variable which stores the answer for the previous index, and side by side we can keep storing the maximum like we were storing for each index. So yes, that can be done. So let's do that. Let's comment the dp array and make a variable previous, basically, which will store the dp of I minus 1. So I will be here initializing previous is equal to a of I, else it will be 0 only. And here, if previous plus a of I is greater than equal to 0, then what will I be doing here is previous is equal to previous plus a of I, else previous is equal to 0, and here also previous. So let's run this. Yes, it is working fine. Yes, it is being submitted. Now the space complexity is O of 1. So basically this is the Kadane's algorithm. So hope you understood the problem and all the approaches. Firstly brute force approach, then the DP approach, and then the optimization we did to make it O of 1 space, which is basically the Kadane's algorithm. So let's meet in the next video. Till then, bye bye. And don't forget to like and share the video, and if you didn't understand any part of the video, you can comment down below. So bye bye, have a nice day.